Quran, a divine manifestation, confirmed by number 19. They say, this, Quran, is not but the words of a human being, Q. 74:25. Over it, are 19, angels. Q. 74:30. And we have not made the keepers of the fire except angels. And we have not made their number except as a trial for those who disbelieve, that those who were given the scripture will be convinced, and those who have believed will increase in faith, and those who were given the scripture and the believers will not doubt, and that those in whose hearts is hypocrisy and the disbelievers will say, what does Allah intend by this as an example? Thus, Allah leaves astray whom He wills and guides whom He wills. And none knows the soldiers of your Lord except Him. And the mention of the fire is not but a reminder to humanity, Q. 74:31. Researches done by Dr. Rashad Khalifa and some others leave no doubt about the Holy Quran being the word of Allah Almighty. When the word/decree is revealed to them, we will bring out a creature from the earth that will speak to them. Indeed, these are, the people, who do not believe in our signs. Q. 2782. Computer produced out of earthly material. The mirror image of this verse 27:82, 72:28 confirms that Allah is a mathematician, has counted all things in numbers. That He may know that they have conveyed the messages of their Lord, He has complete awareness of whatever is with them, having taken stock of all things in number. Q. 72:28. In the verse 82, it is said that at the right time, God will produce a creature that will be instrumental in unveiling God's signs. This promise has been fulfilled. The creature is the computer which became instrumental in unveiling the Quran's numerical code, 19, to the people who did not believe in Allah's signs, message. The sum of the digits that make up 2782, 2 plus 7 plus 8 plus 2, equals 19. The prefix of all the surahs, Bismillah, in the name of the most merciful, with the exception of surah number 9, consists of 19 letters. Surah number 27, the 19th from the 9th, however, contains Bismillah twice, to equal the total number of surahs, 114, in the Holy Quran. A multiple of 19 times 6 equals 114. From Surah 9 to 27, by adding their assigned numbers would total 342, which is a multiple of 19 times 18. The total number of words used in between Surah 9 and 27, from missing Bismillah to the second Bismillah in verse 27, is also 342. The word Allah is mentioned 19 times 142 equals 2698 times. The word Allah is mentioned in 19 times 6421 equals 121,999 surah/verses. The word Rahman is mentioned 19 times 3 equals 57 times. The word Rahim is mentioned 19 times 6 equals 114 times. The total number of surahs in Quran is 19 times 6 equals 114. The very first surah revealed to the Prophet, Pbuh, is the 19th surah, counting backward from surah 114, having 19 verses and 19 words in the first verse, while the total number of letters in the surah is 19 times 4 equals 76. The total number of words in this surah is the multiple of 19 times 15 equals 285. Surah 96, Blood Clot, read, in the name of your Lord. The total number of verses in the Quran is 19 times 334 equals 6346. There are 5,263 verses between Surah number 2, the first set of disjunct letters, and Surah number 68, with the last disjunct letter, a multiple of 19 times 277. The word Allah mentioned in between these surahs is a multiple of 19 times 139 equals 2641 times. Whereas outside of this portion it is mentioned 57 times, a multiple of 19 times 3. In this portion, there are 38 surahs, which are without any disjunct word or set of words. 19 times 2. When the number assigned to the surah outside of surah number 2 to surah number 68 is added, it results in a multiple of 19 times 128 equals 2432. It proves that such the miraculous assignment of numbers to these surahs and verses cannot be the work of a human being but that of Allah, SWT. The word Al-Quran is mentioned in the Holy Quran 19 times 3 equals 57 times. When the assigned numbers of surahs and verses, where the word Al-Quran appears are added, the total comes to 19 times 140 equals 2660. When all the assigned numbers of surahs and verses, where the variations of the word Quran such as Quran and Quran appear, are added, their total comes to 19 times 177 equals 3363. The concept of monotheism, Wahid, unicity of God, the first pillar of Islam, is mentioned in the Holy Quran 19 times. The word Wahid, meaning obey the God alone, is mentioned 5 times. When the numbers assigned to these surahs and verses are added, comes to a multiple of 19 times 19 equals 361. Other four pillars of Islam, Salat, prayer, Zakat, charity, Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca, and Siyam, fasting in the month of Ramadan, mentioned, comes to a multiple of 19 times 6 equals 114. Word Salat is mentioned 67 times, and while the assigned numbers of the surahs and verses added together comes to a multiple of 19 times 246 equals 4674. When the numbers assigned to the surah and verses, where the words Zakat and Hajj are mentioned added, comes to a multiple of 19 by 8 equals 2888. Word Siyam appears 6 times, and when the numbers assigned to the surah and verses added together comes to a multiple of 19 times 37 equals 1387. In surah number 50 named Qaf, also starting with a discrete letter Qaf, denoting the word Quran, the letter is used 19 times 3 equals 57 times. So, it is used in the only other surah number 42 starting with the same discrete letter Qaf, 19 times 3 equals 57 times. The grand total of both of these surahs comes to 57 plus 57 equals 114, which equals the total hash of surahs in Quran. Yet another fascinating fact about these two surahs is that the sum total of assigned numbers to both the surahs and hashes assigned to the verses, 50 plus 45 equals 95 and 42 plus 53 equals 95, comes to a multiple of 19 times 5. The numerical value of the word, Majid, appearing in surah number 50, is a multiple of 19 times 3, m equals 40, j equals 3, e equals 10, only once in Arabic, and d equals 4, equals 57. In surah number 68, starting with the disjunct letter n, it appears in the surah as a multiple of 19 times 7 equals 133. In Quran there are 3 surahs, 7, 19, 38, starting with the discrete letter, Sad. The total hash of times this letter appears in these surahs is a multiple of 19 times 8 equals 152. In surah number 36 there are 2 discrete letters, Ya and Sin. It appears in this surah as a multiple of 19 times 15 equals 285. There are 7 consecutive surahs, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45 and 46, with disjunct letters, Ha, Mim, which is the multiple of 19 times 113 equals 2147. In surah 42 there are 2 sets of disjunct letters, Ha, Mim and Ain, Sin, Kaf. The total number of times the second set of 3 letters appears in this surah is, as a multiple of 19 times 11 equals 209. The surah number 19 has the biggest set of discrete letters, Ka, Ha, Ya, Ain and Sad, and only the letter, Sad, appears in this surah 19 times 8 equals 152 times, whereas in all 3 surahs, 7, 19 and 38, these disjunct letters appear 19 times 42 equals 798 times. There are 6 surahs, 2, 3, 29, 30, 31, and 32, with the discrete set of letters, Alif, Lam and Mim, which appear in all surahs as a multiple of 19. Surah number 2 is a multiple of 19 x 521 equals 9899 times. Surah number 3 contains 19 times 298 equals 5662 times. Surah number 29 contains 19 times 88 equals 1672 times. Surah number 30 contains 19 times 66 equals 1254 times. Surah number 31 contains 19 times 43 equals 817 times. Surah number 32 contains 19 times 33 equals 627. There are 5 surahs with a disjunct set of letters, Alif, Lam and Ra, which appear in all the surahs as a multiple of 19. Surah number 10 is a multiple of 19 times 131 equals 2489. Surah number 11 is a multiple of 19 times 131 equals 2489. Surah number 12 is a multiple of 19 times 125 equals 2375. Surah number 14 is a multiple of 19 times 63 equals 1197 and Surah number 15 is a multiple of 19 times 48 equals 912. Surah number 13 has a set of 4 disjunct letters, Alif, Lam, Mim and Ra, consisting of a multiple of 19 times 78 equals 1482. There are 5 surahs, 19, 20, 26, 27, 28 with a set of discrete letters, Ha, Taha, Tasin Mim, Tasin, Tasin Mim, these are a multiple of 19 by 93 equals 1767. Surah number 7 consists of a discrete set of 4 letters, Alif, Lam, Mim and Sad, in the multiple of 19 times 280 equals 5320. 1 plus 6 plus 12 equals 19. Center number 1 Allah, SWT. First circle, 1 to 6 around Allah, the creation of the universe in 6 days. Creation of space. Q, 11 to 7. Second circle, 1 to 12 around the creation of space is 12 months of the year. Creation of time. Q, 936. It is also the code of creation. A hive of the honeybee, ice molecule, water molecule and DNA/RNA molecule, all are in hexagonal shape. We know that you, Muhammad, are saddened by what they say. And indeed, they do not call you untruthful, but it is the signs of Allah that the wrongdoers reject. Q, 633. 120 degree is also the angle of the hexagonal blocks used in the construction of the fundamental structure of the universe, represented by the number 19. The greatest mathematical key in the Holy Quran. The Surah 27 named An-Naml, Ant, has 2 discrete letters, Tasin. The first letter is mentioned in the verses of the Surah 27 times, which is the assigned number of the Surah. The second letter appears 93 times, which is the number of verses in this Surah. By adding these two we get to number 120, which is the numerical value of the Arabic word NML for ant. N equals 50, plus M equals 40, plus L equals 30 equals 120. The first disjunct letter Ta is the 16th letter in Hijai alphabetical order. It appears in 16 verses and the total of numbers assigned comes to 16 times 40 equals 640. Here the verse number 16 is the shortest verse, number 2, of this chapter, containing only 16 letters, while verse number 40 is the longest verse of this chapter containing 114 letters. By adding the letters in verse 40 and 16 total comes to 152 equals 114 plus 38. It represents the total number of the surah in the Quran and the words in verse 40 of this chapter. The second letter Sin appears 2 times in 16 verses and the total of the number assigned to these verses comes to 636 equals 12 times 53. Number 12 is the alphabetical order of the letter Sin, while 53 is a prime number with its order and prime numbers of 16, is the total number of verses. The word Allah is mentioned in this verse 27 times. The verse number 26 starting with the word Allah consists of exactly 27 letters. Still, the tantalizing fact is that verse 27 does not use a letter W, in English, which is the 27th letter in Hijai alphabetic order. It appears once in 15 verse. It appears twice in 15 verses. It appears thrice in 15 verses. It appears 4 times in 15 verses. And it appears 5 times in 15 verses. Quran was descended on the night of 27th of Ramadan, night of decree, which is of a great significance. Checking the factual link between the two surahs, it is revealed that the verses containing Arabic letter Waw twice total 729 equals a multiple of 27 times 27. Number 5 immediately reminds one of 5 daily mandatory prayers and 5 pillars of Islam. When investigated the verses containing Arabic letter Waw 5 times, their total comes to 773. It is the 137th prime number, which itself is the 33rd prime number. It represents the total number of verses in this chapter, which start with the letter Waw. By multiplying 15 times 15 equals 225, which is the total number of times letter Waw appears in all 5 groups of verses. By multiplying 15 times 5 equals 75, which is the total number of verses in these 5 groups. The 15th verse in this chapter consists of 15 words as well. Surah 97, the night of decree, power. The word Laylatul Qadr consisting of 3 words, or 9 letters, appearing thrice in this surah. 3 times 3 plus 3 times 3 plus 3 times 3 equals 27. The first word of this surah Ina has a numerical value of 27. The words Lila from the start and Hiya from the end, backward, are both the 27th words. Hiya has a numerical value of 54, which is the total of both the letters, 26 and 28, and when it is divided by 2 results in 27. From this word Hiya till the end of the Quran the total number of words is 486, which is a multiple of 27 times 18. Number 18 being the total hash of letters of the last, 5th, verse. Instead of adding 27 plus 27 equals 54 if we multiply, the result is 27 times 27 equals 729. The 60th verse of Surah Al-Ma'idah number 5 contains 27 words. In this surah name of Allah is mentioned 44 times, which is the number of the only surah where night of decree is mentioned. The total number of letters in both the surah, 44 and 97, is 115. The 27th letter in the Hijai alphabetical order Waw appears in verse 44, 115 times. The word Al-Quran appears in both the verses 59 times, which is the total number of words in these surahs, 29 plus 30. Conclusion: the word Al-Qadar, night of decree, has a numerical value of 63, which is the age of the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, on whom the Holy Quran was revealed on the 27th of Ramadan. Lunar and solar calendar in Quran. Indeed, the number of months with Allah is 12, lunar, months in the register of Allah from the day He created the heavens and the earth. Q. 936. The word shahr, a month in singular form, appears 12 times in the whole Quran. Whereas yom, day, appears 365 times. Exact number of days in a year. Plural form of days ayam is mentioned 27 times, which is the time taken by the moon to complete its orbital circulation. The word qamar, moon, is also mentioned 27 times. Quran also mentions it once by the name crescent, representing the fraction of the moon, to accommodate the exact scientific calculation of 27.3 days. The word year is mentioned in Quran in singular form 7 times and in plural form 12 times, which is the total number of years, 19, taken by the new full moon to fall on the same day of the year, called metonic cycle. It is 19 years lunar cycle to reach the relatively exact location where the moon, the earth and sun were at the start of the journey. Here the number 19 could be taken as referring to the building block of the universe, in hexagonal form, or to the very subtle bifurcation of the 7 leap years and 12 common years. Surah Al-Kahf number 18, 7 Sleepers of the Ephesus. This surah narrates the story of the 7 men escaped to cave in 18 consecutive verses, and specifically in verse 18 of the chapter. The surah says, they stayed there for 300 years, and then it says add 9, which means, counting by solar calendar would be 300 years, for example by Muslims, whereas counting by the lunar calendar would be 309 years. Surah Al-Fatiha number 1. Group of first, second and third word group contains 31 letters each. The number of dots in each group also is 31. 3 names of Allah are mentioned in 3 verses, twice, and the total number of letters also comes to 31. When investigated, the 31st verse in the Quran, which is 224, it also contains 31 dots. In this surah, all the verses end with the word either am or n with their alphabetical order of 24th and 25th with a total numerical value of 49, which is multiple of 7 times 7. Number 7, like 27 and 114, is the main key of the mathematical manifestations of the Quran. The number of words ending with either am or n is exactly the same. 7 plus 7 equals 14. This surah is described by Allah as an often repeated set of 7 verses in 1587, which also contains exactly 7 words. The letter M in this verse is mentioned 3 times and the letter N is mentioned 4 times. The number of dots used here is a multiple of 7 times 3 equals 21, which again brings forth the significance of the number 7. Number 21 is the number of alphabets used in Surah 1, out of total 29 alphabets. The phrase oft repeated 7 verses in Arabic carries a numerical value of 179, which is the total of 7 verses of the Surah 1 plus number of words used in it 29 plus number of letters used 143. 7 plus 29 plus 143 equals 179. The key word in this phrase is 7-letter word oft repeated, and its numerical value comes to 114, the total number of surahs in Quran. If Bismillah is considered part of the Surah Al-Fatiha, as in the above example, along with other verses starting with letter B comes to 63, which is the age of the Prophet, PBUH. Surah Al-Fatiha with Bismillah would consist of 7 verses, which are also the number of verses in Surah Al-Araf. Both of these surahs consist of 7-letter names in Arabic. The numerical value of the surah, 7, Al-Araf, is also 114. The total number of surahs in Quran. Surah Taha number 20. The letter Ta in the surah number 20 Ta is exactly in the middle of the all 1273 letters Ta. There are 636 Ta before and 636 Ta after the central golden Ta. Letter Ta is repeated 4 times in 4 surahs only. 4 times 4 equals 16, number 16 is the Hijai alphabetical order of the letter Ta. The 4th surah in this group where the letter Ta appears consecutively has exactly 16 words. When 16 times 4 equals 64, which is the number of verses in this surah, 24. There are 4 more letters in this verse repeated 4 times, and the total numerical value of them comes to 24, which is the number of this verse and also the number of times the letter Ta has been repeated. When we look at the number position of the words containing the letter Ta, it is 5, 6, 7 and 8, the total whereof comes to 26, which is the number of this verse in this surah. The word Allah consists of 3 letters, A, LH, and their total numerical value comes to 26 as well, which is the number of this verse. This verse consists of total 99 letters, which corresponds with the 99 names of Allah. An amazing mathematical harmony. Surah Al-Alaq number 96, Endometrium. Al-Alaq is the 9th word in this surah, whereas the 9th prime number in the series of prime numbers is 23, which is exactly the number of pairs of chromosomes in a human DNA, DNA plus RNA. Surprisingly, the numerical value of the word atom, the first man created, is 46, the total number of chromosomes in human DNA, 23 deoxyribonucleic acid DNA and 23 ribonucleic acid RNA it carries info from DNA is also 46. Yalit is the only word appearing once in the entire Quran in Surah Ikhlas. It is exactly in the middle of the surah, 7 words before and 7 words after it. 23 letters before and 23 letters after it. For human conception, 46 number of chromosomes are required, therefore Yalid being placed in between the two sets of 23 chromosomes represents the negation of conception/birth. Allah did not give birth. Surah Al-Alaq number 96 has 18 surahs after it. Its first verse, the only in entire Quran, consists of 18 letters. It also starts with the first Arabic letter alif and it appears in this verse 61 times, which is a prime number of the 18th place in the order. The word Idina appears only twice in the entire Quran in Surah number 1-6 and Surah number 38-22. Letter Alif has a numerical value of 23 which represents the number of chromosomes in human DNA. Letter Alif is also the beginning and end of the word Iodina with 5 letters with the numerical values 23, 7, 5, 3, 23. These represent the 23 DNA/human being to be guided, 7 stages of human development in the womb, 5 senses/5 obligatory prayers/5 pillars of Islam, 3 dark layers of the womb and 23 RNA. Amazingly, all the surahs with 5 verses have 99 letters, the number of names of Allah, SWT. The last surah revealed, Victory number 110, also has 19 words. So, the first surah revealed, Bloodclot number 96, and the last surah revealed, both, consist of 19 words. This miraculous exposure of the Holy Quran is continuing but succumbing to the brevity of human endurance. I will end it here with the hope that 1. It will be enough to convince any rational being that it is not an ordinary book composed by a human being but a divine revelation. 2. Why the challenge to produce even a part of the Quran has remained unmet. 3. It will keep revealing its miracles/wisdom until the end of the time. 4. It is free from any defect/deficiency/mistake, as often wishfully hoped, by the antagonists of Islam. For further reading, https://shakir2.wordpress.com/2018/02/03/scientific elaboration of Surah at Tin Fig 95 verse 4/ https://shakir2.wordpress.com/2019/01/03/ proof of the originator God/ shakir2.wordpress.com. Sources: Mathematical Miracle of the Holy Quran by Dr. Rashad Khalifa. www.quranmiracle.com. The Superiority of the Quran.